Hello everyone, I go by the name of Roxy Rose, and this right here is Roxy Rose Guides debt update for the month of May 2026. We have a debt update for you today. Before I get started, I want to thank my wonderful subscribers. You are wanted and appreciated, and I thank you so much for coming back onto this channel, watching, supporting, and being patient with me. As you know, I do have a brand new book that I went ahead and put out into the world. Let's Guide Your Money. It is available on Amazon and very soon on PayHip. By June 20th, it should be available on PayHip. So you can pre-order now. Right now, they have the pre-order. And I'll put the link in the description below if you want to support, get your money and finances together. Y'all know through the journey of the past few years, I've been able to accomplish a few goals. I've been able to pay off my car loan, purchase a home, pay off credit card debt, although I'm back in credit card debt now, and save about $20,000 in my high yield savings account. So I have a few things that I've been able to do these past few years because I took the right steps. So go ahead and buy this book because maybe you might need those steps too to get you where you need to go. All right? Help me to be debt free. And one way to do that is supporting, like, and subscribe below, and definitely go check out this book. All right? If you like all things that have to do with budgeting, finance, debt updates, and cash stuffing, go ahead and like and subscribe below. Support me, your girl, Roxy Rose. Let's get into this debt update today. Excuse me if you hear any sounds outside. It's 7 a.m., right, on a Saturday. I don't know why, but my neighbor is mowing the lawn at 7 a.m. I've never in my life. I wonder if you can call the cops on somebody for doing that. Because that got to be a noise ordinance thing. Like 7 a.m. Okay. Anyway, we are in May. And as you know, we always start with the beautiful, the lovely revolving debt, aka credit cards. Okay, because we own them credit cards, but we're trying to pay off the credit cards. Well, let's see where we're at. All right, we're coming in strong with Chase, and Chase, I've been able to go ahead, pay it off again so that there is $0 owed at Chase. Thank God. All right, then we have Bank of America. Bank of America went down to $1,900, which is good. But you know, with all this gas that's been excessively high, and I use this bank card with my gas because it gives me 3% back in rewards points, which I usually use for the debt itself. So I'm always using this card, especially now, to get my points back with the gas. Then we have Citibank, which is still at 0. I did a balance transfer a long time ago, and I got it off of this one and put it somewhere else. So this remains at 0 because, well, the interest rate is actually better than the other ones, but I just don't like Citibank. Then we have Amex. Amex went up because I put 2 large purchases on Amex. Amex, I put my car repair on Amex. And I put my plane tickets on Amex because I might be needing it to do the other plane tickets in the future. So I needed those points. So currently right now we owe $2,200 to Amex. I have been making my payments and I do want to pay that off fast because you see this interest rate is high. This interest rate and that Chase Flex interest rate, these two are my highest interest rate. These are almost, golly, they're almost $30. 30%. 30% is too high for my blood. Then we have Discover. Discover we got it down to $3,000, which I'm happy about. And then we have Truist. Truist, we got it down to $2,700. Okay, so that brings our total debt down to $9,800. So that is exciting. It's gone under $10,000, which is good because this was definitely too high the last 2 months. So going under that $10,000 threshold is good. But as you know, groceries and gas and things have been putting it back up. And quite frankly, like, I've been using cash stuffing to do my sinking funds and my savings challenges, which is great. But I haven't consistently been using the cash to do like my regular cash envelopes. I took the cash envelopes out of my wallet, and I think over the summer, especially when I'm not getting paid over the summer, the next 2 months, in July and August, I won't be getting paid. So I really need to stretch all the cash that I have and make sure that I'm not spending too much. So I think I might be going back to that cash envelope method to make sure that I'm not spending a lot on credit cards and I'm not just swiping away, but really being intentional about what I spend because I don't get a paycheck. And I've been saving during this time to make sure I have enough. And so the balances on this have gone up, but then I pay them off by the end of the month so that they go down. But my goal over the summer is to make sure the balances don't go up by using cash, right? To psychologically make sure that I am intentionally using my cash over the summer versus swiping up on these cards. And we got to get this down by the end of June and also into August and September. Into July and August. So that's the goal. Really to get this down by next month and maintain at least the minimum balances over July and August so that I have enough going into September. All right. So now that we finished that, let's get into our revolving unsecured debt, aka student loans. These blasted, no good, very bad student loans. Well, I went ahead and updated the student loans with my current job. I sent in my public student loan forgiveness certification for this year from December to like currently up until the end of May, basically. And just to certify that I've worked there for a certain amount of time and for them to put it into my application to count towards, my student loan forgiveness. I have enough of my working amount. I have over 120 working hours in education under their program to get my student loan forgiveness. However, I don't have the amount of payments. Under the SAVE plan, I've been under forbearance for the last year. Involuntarily, I did not want to be under the forbearance, and I told them that multiple times, but they still put me under it. And then I was also in forbearance before I started my first elementary school job, and because at that time I didn't have it to make those monthly payments, and I was switching payments. So yeah, and then I didn't go back into school then. I had just finished school, and I think I had like that grace period, but I guess they count that as like forbearance. Anyway, all of that counts for nothing because right now I don't have my loans forgiven, and they are backed up. I watched some video on TikTok, and they said something about if you're trying to do the buyback program, just wait for there's possibly a 3-year wait, which is crazy to me. But remember, I applied back in October 2025 for this plan. So I, you know, am certifying all the years, all the time that I have worked, right? Just to make sure I'm getting closer and closer to that 120, because by the time they get to my application, hopefully I won't have to pay as much. If they do the buyback program, I can go ahead and just pay off whatever I owe and this whole entire debt will be gone. However, yeah, I heard that it's just been very slow and very backed up, and every month they're getting more and more applications of people trying to apply for it, and I don't know who's actually getting it. So, yeah, we're waiting. I'm hoping that it is taking, if it does take a year, maybe by this October coming up, 2026, I could have these student loans forgiven, because as you know, they've gone up and down and just really fluctuated. We just started making payments in April to bring it down, and now it's all right. And then I just want to clarify for those that may not know. All right, if you're new here, I talk about these blasted, no good, very bad student loans all the time. All right, the ones that they make us take out when we're 17, 18, 19 years old, still teenagers. Okay, and want us to pay back, into adulthood, ruining our 30s. Anyway, we have public student loan forgiveness is basically a forgiveness program that allows your student loans, your federal student loans only, to be basically wiped out after a number of years working in public service. That includes working as a teacher, as I have been, whether it's in childcare, for little kids all the way up to, I'm not sure if it's up to college. Yeah, if you know, please put it in the comments. But it doesn't include teaching as a profession. So that is one of the things that should be forgiven under the studentaid.gov. And it was one of the reasons why a lot of people had applied for those loans to get their college degrees and take out those student loans when they went to college, because it was promised back then in 2007 when I started school that by the time that we graduate and go to work, we have 10 years of service, they will be wiped out, they will be forgiven. Okay, I've had teacher student loan forgiveness in the past. That only gives $17,500, and I had that forgiven previously. If I had not done that one previously, I think all of this would have already been forgiven, unfortunately. But I just was trying to get something done as soon as possible, and I should have waited the whole 10 years to just get this done. And that's my fault, right? Because that pushes this back. But my whole goal is to get this done. Also, the buyback program that I mentioned earlier. The buyback program is basically a new thing that they put out. It basically says that if you have all your working years, 10 years of service that you've done, but you have some years where there's forbearance, or you couldn't make a payment, right? Not that you defaulted, but you could not make a payment because you were under forbearance. You can go ahead and buy back those months in order for you to have reached your 120 payments, right? So let's say, for example, I worked and paid on there 115. I might have 5 payments left, all right? So instead of waiting 5 months for my employer to do it, I could buy back those 5 months, right? So let's say I have $200 payments or $100 payments, right? $100 payments. If I had $100 payments and I buy back those 5 months, I would pay them $500, and I would be put on the list to be free and clear of my student loans for the rest of life. Okay, they would be wiped out. So paying, because essentially you didn't make those payments when you were supposed to, they're allowing you to make it now and then be free and clear. So they get their money. They get their money faster. They get their money, and you are actually get your student loan forgiveness. So it's a way to kind of get around the system. Unfortunately, previously they mentioned that they would calculate the payments based on what the past was, what you were supposed to have paid back then. Now they're saying, oh no, they're actually going to make you pay based on what payment plans they have currently now. That part sucks, because that's also not fair. But, you know, they're going to try to get their money from what they didn't get during the SAVE plan, what they didn't get during COVID. Yeah, there's a lot of back payment in life since COVID. But I digress. Let's go ahead and get into the student loans. Well, I'm going to go ahead and put the amounts that's owed on the side, and we're going to zip through that, and then we're going to talk about it. All right? All right, so now that we have all of these, let's go ahead and explain them. Since I started making my payments, my $234 payments to Mohila, and studentloan.gov Mohila, the balance has gone down, which is really a blessing. The balance has gone up for the last, even since last year, the balance has been going up tremendously. Because I was at 64,000 last year, and it went up to 65 last year, and now up to 66 just on interest alone. But that's okay, because I'm trying to get this forgiven. So I'm just paying the bare minimum, to be honest, because it's supposed to be forgiven. And I'm going to stand on that. Then we have Earnest, my private student loan. This is my goal for the year, to pay off this private student loan, to have it done, to have it be gone. I'm working hard on it. I made a huge payment earlier this year, but I want to continue to make payments. I made a $1,000 payment during the tax refund season. My goal was to pay more than $1,000, and I'm hoping to do that by the end of this year. But I got it from, the loan started out as $23,000, and I've got it down to $7,000. So I'm really working on this to get this paid off. Then we have Mohila. This Mohila has gone up. This is the private Mohila student loan company, not the public student loan forgiveness company, or this is the private Mohila company. Theirs has gone up by $12. And then we have Aspire, and that has gone up by $10 as well. So I need to double check these ones. If it's going up by $10, I got to see what I can do to make those payments and make them go down, because these two were also affected by me applying for the IBR, the income different repayment. This has gone down, but also these two were affected, changing my payments from $100 or $80 down to $20, $16, which doesn't make any sense. And I want those paid off as soon as possible, because that is not going to be part of what's forgiven. So I really got to figure out to make a bigger payment, or maybe I will auto adjust. I'll adjust my auto payments. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to adjust my auto payments so it automatically comes out. I don't want to be charged extra for no reason every month when I don't have to be, and I have the money. But that brings our grand total to $83,980. It's still gone down. All right. So I am excited that it still has gone down. All right. And that's the goal. The goal is for it to go down. So we have all of these happening. I'm so happy. I'm hoping by this year and this year, this is wiped out. And by the end of this year, I can get this to, if I can get that to zero, that'd be such a blessing. Anyway. So now we know that. Let's go ahead and get into our overall debt. We have $9,800 in credit cards. I'm still swiping away, which I definitely don't need to, but I've been swiping. And there's been a few holidays and things happening, but my overall debt is down by $2,000. We have $93,780. So it's less than $2,000, but it's getting there, right? So I am working hard to try to pay off my debt. I really am. Some parts I'm putting it back up, getting those credit cards paid off as soon as possible, especially when they're accruing interest every month, is definitely what I'm working on. Especially the next upcoming month. I have a game plan for June. Look out for the June debt update, because I have a new game plan for this upcoming year. I needed it for something else, but I think that it will definitely help me with my my debt. I need it for my debt, so I think it'll help me when it comes to my debt. We are not done. Let's get into, oh my gosh, what happened? Let's get into our net worth update and our credit score update. All right, let's go ahead and get into that for the month of May. So remember, you calculate your net worth by looking at your assets minus all your liabilities, all the things you owe, all the things you own versus all the things you owe. Okay? And for this month, the month of May, mine went up to $105,523. $105,523. Now, just know my value of my home and my car has stayed the same, although I think the value will be going down because my bumper fell off on the highway. And I've been having to make a lot of payments and just trying to get it working correctly in general. I think it's getting to the end of its life, and I really need to consider whether I should continue to put more money into fixing the car or just possibly getting a new car. I think that's where my head is at. I think I'm leaning towards trying to get a new car, but not now, but maybe by the end of the year, I'm going to think about what that might be, because life is just lifing, and if bumpers are falling off in the highway or I'm paying over $1,000 to repair it, I might as well put $1,000 towards a new car that's not going to do all of that. So we're going to think about it. Credit score. Let's look at our recent credit score. We have 785, we have 802, and we have 818. Okay, so, and then I just recently did something and it was 820. Okay, that'll give you a little tidbit. This is probably going to go into next month because it's already June, but I just recently checked and it's 820. That was my FICO score. So I'm super excited about that. We're going to continue to work on our net worth and our credit score by paying off this debt. Let me know where you are on your debt journey, debts repayment journey. Where are you at? How are you doing? I hope you guys have a wonderful and amazing June. Take care. Have a shout out to all the teachers that just are finishing or in the process of finishing their year. Shout out to you. I think we're in the second to last week is the last week for Jersey, and the last week is the last week for New York. So shout out to those East Coast teachers that are going to be ending in June. Shout out to those teachers in the South that already finished. I know you guys are on vacation. Enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. Take care. God bless. And Roxy Rose out.